Good evening. My name is Russet. I'm a Democrat running to flip the 31st State Senate seat out here in Loudoun and Fauquier counties. First of all, let me say thank you to all of you tonight for being here, for being invested, and to the National Women's Political Caucus for endorsing me and for hosting this event. A little bit about me. I grew up in an economically disadvantaged household, the daughter of a single income earning public servant. I spent my younger years because of that having to fight and advocate for myself. I was able to do that and went on up and graduated from ultimately one of the best law schools in the country, and now have the privilege as an attorney of advocating for those around me. In fact, I spent my career after I graduated from law school as a public servant, working as a prosecutor, prosecuting any of the crimes you probably have heard of: domestic violence, child abuse, horrific sexual assault cases, robbery, carjacking, homicide, you name it, I probably have prosecuted it. I also served over at the Central Intelligence Agency as a CIA officer, spending my days every day fighting to ensure that our freedoms and our democracy were protected from those who would attempt to harm us. As I now step into politics, a little bit about the race that I'm running in. My seat is the 21st most Democratic seat here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That means that in the state Senate, there are 40 senators. My seat is the tipping point. My seat is the point that decides whether or not Democrats hold the majority. An incredibly critical, crucial, and important race for this seat will occur this year. People talk about the blue wall in Virginia that has been the Senate that has protected against an extreme Republican agenda. That is the seat, that is this race. Because of my background, because of my experience, and because of the critical nature of this race, this year I have been endorsed by a slew of folks, including Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton, Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, former Governor Ralph Northam, State Senator Jennifer Boysko, John Bell, Barbara Favola, Scott Serval, Louise Lucas, Mamie Locke, as well as a long list of groups, not only National Women Political Caucus, but now Emily's List, Climate Cabinet, Clean Virginia, LIUNA, the list goes on. The reason folks have chosen to weigh in on this race is because of the critical nature and critical importance of this race. If we lose this seat, we may well lose access to some of the things that Democrats have fought so hard for over the past couple of years, and some of the things that we have relied on for protection for even longer. So things like access to abortion, things like access to reproductive health care will run through this seat, will run through Loudoun County this year. Things like the red flag laws, common sense gun safety laws, they run through this seat, they run through this race. Our progress on environmental regulations, again, on the edge, on the verge in this seat, on this blue brick. The reason I'm running in this race, to be fair, is not so much for me. My career as a prosecutor, I spent many days, most days actually, sitting across the table from folks, talking to them as they struggled through some of the most difficult times in their life, some of the most pressing issues that are facing our country today, are facing folks in our country today. In my own personal background, my own personal struggles growing up, I'm familiar with many of those same issues myself. So I was asked to step up and run in this race, to run in this critical race. And so I would ask each one of you to consider tonight, as you're trying to decide whether you should give money or where to give money, to consider giving in this race, to consider giving for the critical nature of this particular seat, to protect things like abortion rights, to protect things like gun safety, protect things like our environment, to protect from the onslaught that's hit our public education, but to not just do it for you, because I'm running. The things that I see, the things that I think about are the folks that I have looked in their faces. And I couldn't say no when asked. I would ask you not to say no either. Please consider giving tonight. Give for yourself. Give for them. Give for folks who can't give give for your children, give for the people around you that you care about, and give for Commonwealth, for our democracy, for our freedoms, and for our country. Thank you.